episode of Marketer about how to prioritize your marketing spend. Working with various clients, we know that it can be frustrating that you're spending money on your marketing and you're not really seeing the expected return on investment. So we're going to look into that. These lives are we have every second week in English, and between that, I do it in Norwegian as well. I'm originally Norwegian, but we run Pioneer Marketing from Cape Town, where we are multinational team, actually, Scandinavians and locals, serving clients all over the world. Everything that we do and talk about is really based on questions we get from our clients, how we approach our clients, when we keep up to date, learning something new, a new approach, a new context. And that's what we talk about in these streams. You are very welcome to ask any questions. I know a lot of people watch these and the recordings. So if so, you are still free to contact us with any questions. If you get any suggestions for topics, we will bring them up as well. So feel free to communicate with us. We are very approachable, so hope to hear from you. Let's look at today's topic. So how to prioritize your marketing spend. I have prepared a few things that you can look at while we're busy going. So let me get that up. Here we go. Let's move on. So understanding how to prioritize your marketing spend really has a lot to do with understanding purchasing behavior and how that is experienced from the customer side. We call it the customer journey. So your customer is going sort of a purchasing journey. There might be various words that people are using for this, but we call it the customer journey. And your marketing activities are there to nudge people along on their customer journey. So we cannot force anyone to buy something that they don't need, but there's a lot of things we can do to have the right customer getting to the purchasing decision and completing that purchase instead of losing them along the way because we're not doing the right thing. I will look, through this presentation, we will look at how you align your marketing activities with the customer journey. And we will also look at how you should prioritize the marketing activities that you might be doing, that you might not be doing. We will figuring out where you have possible holes in your marketing along that journey, and we will approach that. So at the end as well, or towards the end, we will look at how to prioritize. We're not going to just tell you everything you need to do, but we will give you the framework and the priority path that you can follow to make this work for your business. So it's all about getting that client to the purchasing decision and beyond, as we will see, to get more value out of your clients as well. So let's dive in. I like to compare the purchasing decision with a general relationship building process. And I've taken out a few pictures here to illustrate how that often can look like, a short version of it. So in the beginning, you will have some kind of meet each other stage that will evolve into getting to know each other stage. Now in the second one, where so in the meet each other stage, you will get to a quick decision: is this someone I want to talk to again or not? Do they seem interesting or not? And the next phase, we are really deepening that relationship, getting to know each other better. Normally, you will show yourself from your better side, show your good sides. Maybe later, they will show you your not so good sides as well. We tend to all have those as well. But it's quite a process. You get to know each other. You decide. You get to the point where you decide: is this a person that I want to take the next step with, or is it not? So we like to compare that to the purchasing decision. And, are you taking the next step? Are you getting married? First, normally engaged and then maybe married. And then once you get married, then what happens next? Well, that's when really the value of the relationship also continues to grow. So we need further nurturing at this stage. We need to make sure that we still communicate, we still care for each other, we spend time together, and really nurturing that relationship into a lifelong relationship. So we like to compare this to the purchasing process. First, the client become aware of you or the need that you're solving for them. Then they move on to, well, you and them together move on to the stage where you are really nurturing that relationship. So there's not a decision made yet. If someone is going to purchase, if they're not going to purchase, is really highlighting the needs that they might have and you meeting those needs, understanding their concerns, understanding how to make them feel comfortable, how to be trustworthy so that you can get to that purchase decision. Again, we're not trying to force anyone. We're trying to lead people to this purchase decision and nurture them, give them what they need to get to that point. So, and when the purchase decision is made and the purchase is made, we want to continue to nurture our clients to increase the value that they are bringing us. So we're continuing to nurturing the relationship. You give value to your client, they will end up giving value back. That value can be in form of repeat purchases. It can be in form of giving you a review that will help you get another new client, give you a referral, which will help you again get another new client. So there's multiple of ways where nurturing your existing client that has purchased from you will add additional value. And I guarantee you it's a lot easier to get an additional purchase from an existing client than it is to go all the way from scratch, meeting, that first meeting, all the nurturing up to a purchase decision, building that trust. If that trust can be built from an existing client, it's a lot easier to get the purchase. You also get a lot more value. So if you ran an ad and got one client, if that client can multiply into maybe an additional purchase and 2 additional clients, you got 4 purchases out of that one ad instead of 1. So we need to think about those things. Generally, when we say we work with clients, a lot of clients will tend to skip these 2 nurturing stages. So they will go straight from this getting to know you, placing the ad in front of you stage to expecting a purchase. Now we will see from some stats that I'm going to pull up that is not generally how purchases happen. We have to build trust and relationships. People don't have an attention span. They don't go around thinking about you all the time. It's like when you meet someone the first time, you don't necessarily go and think about them day and night. Might, but probably not. You have a lot of other things going on as well. Because we're talking about the first meet, not necessarily when you realize you might like them. So we really need to make sure that we are looking at those stages as well, and we're going to see how that relates to the customer journey as well. So here we got some stats. 96% of people that are visiting your website or social channels will not buy straight away. And that is literally because we have so much going on. We got a lot of stimulation, a lot of social media, a lot of scrolling, a lot of stuff that sort of takes our attention away from your ad. Again, your client's not just thinking about you. They're thinking about other things as well. Expecting immediate purchases will lead to disappointment and usually a very inefficient use of your marketing budget. If you're spending all your money on ads and on all your time and money on ads, because when I talk about resources, I talk about both time and money, you are probably not spending it very efficiently. So the lifecycle marketing is the marketing that you do along the buyer's journey or the customer journey. It helps you create a customer journey that increases conversions, so more of those clicks become customers, and increases sales through nudging your potential buyer through the purchasing process. So it's really important framework to work. I will give you a little tool as well, so you can use to evaluate where are you at in creating customer journeys for your potential buyers. And it's no judgment. We very often find when we work with clients that there's the steps missing. So this is literally just a tool to help you identify what you should be working on. I'm going to get to that one. Here we have the alignment of the customer journey stage and the lifecycle marketing focus that you as a business should have. So of the customer journey, that's something we can find slightly various variations of on the internet, but I've chosen this one. And it generally goes like the client realizes they have some kind of problem, some kind of challenge. They become aware of you as a supplier for this, or that you can solve it in some way. It might be that those two things happen at the same time. If you're placing an ad in front of them, it could be, do you have problems converting clicks to customers? And then you realize, oh yeah, I do have that problem. So those two things can happen very simultaneously. Then we have a consideration phase. So people are not necessarily only looking at you as a supplier. They realize there's a problem and challenge that they might have, and they might go and Google a lot of other suppliers, figuring out what are their needs and what else do we actually, what are options, is this a trustworthy supplier, etc. So there will be a consideration phase. So this will be the first nurturing phase that is very important not to forget. That will lead to a decision phase. Should I buy from the supplier or not? When they buy, we go into the retention and loyalty phase, where you can really add that value and create loyalty so you can get ambassadors, or what I've called fans, for your brand. In the problem and awareness phase, your marketing should focus on collecting those leads. You need to be there. So in other words, it's not yet selling to those leads necessarily. You need to collect these leads. You can do that through targeting, correct targeting, attracting them, understanding what attracts them. We're going to dive into each of these ones a little bit more on the next slide, and capturing them. And what capturing is, we're also going to get back to. In the consideration and decision phase, your focus is to convert clients. You need to engage with them. You need to nurture them, build that trust so that they believe that you are the right supplier for them. You need to make sure that you come with a relevant offer at the relevant time, not too early, not too late. And you need to close them, make it super easy to purchase from you. And you might think that that is obvious, but we see time and time again with our clients that they might even mess up that stage. Then we want to create fans. We want to focus on a delivery of what we promised. Then we want to impress your clients. So we want to focus on delivery beyond what is promised. I'm going to look at that as well. And we want to focus on how to multiply. So your marketing activity should be around delivering, impressing, and multiplying. We believe that marketing is not only something you do pre-sale. Your marketing should also be involved with your existing customers. If you have your whole organization focused on your customer journey, you will have a really smooth customer journey. All the departments will know what it's all about. And if you're a one-man show, you're doing all of these things anyway. So then you're hopefully aware of it. Here it's put a little bit in context, and I'm going to take my picture away so you can see this completely. So this is the lifecycle marketing framework. And after this slide, I'm going to give you a tool so that you can, a free tool, so that you can map out this for yourself. But again, so we see that this is sort of an eternity extended 8. So the different stages feed into each other. For example, creating fans feeds back into collecting new leads. That would be typically through referrals and getting positive reviews. That's why activities around that is important as well. That makes it a lot easier to convert your new clients again. So this is all tied together. That is why when we work with clients, we are looking at what are you doing at these different stages, and do you have any holes? Is there anywhere you're not doing something? And we look at how to improve that. So the first stage, again, we will see from the previous slide, is about targeting. So you need to make sure that you're targeting the right client. If you're targeting the wrong client, you're going to have a fight trying to convert them into clients, and you will probably feel disappointed and despondent along the way. So you need to make sure that your target group is right. Your target group is not everyone. You can even have multiple target groups in different industries or in different population groups, etc., different age groups. By having good targeting, you can much easier attract your clients. So you need to have something that draws them to you as a supplier. It could be the copy in your ad. It can be the picture in your ad. It can be a free resource. It can be a lot of different things. You will have some tips in the mapping tool that we're going to give you. Then we need to make sure that we capture these clients, or potential clients. And what do we mean by that? Remember that 96% of your visitors to your website and social media will not buy straight away. So you need to, through your call it the lead magnets or whatever you use to attract the clients, make sure that you also get to capture their details. So a few ways you can capture their details. You can capture their email address. You can capture their phone number. You can put a pixel on their browser. Keep in mind that those pixels can easily be blocked. And again, you're not forcing anyone to give their details. If you have your targeting and attracting correct, you will have the relevant clients that will be interested in whatever you can offer, or at least interested in hearing more and exploring that relationship with your company. When we move on to converting clients, so we need all of these things in place to be able to move on to actually converting clients. We want to engage and nurture. Now you have the opportunity to engage and nurture because you have captured. That's why capturing is very important. So you need to engage and nurture various communication to build trust, build that relationship, making sure that you stay top of mind in really positive, add value. It's not about talking yourself up in the clouds. It's not about forcing anyone to buy from you. It's about engaging with your potential clients. We're nudging them along. We're giving them the answers to things that you know might be coming up as questions, etc. Then we need to offer them something. So we need to give them the right offer, sort of have an idea of what they, based on maybe how you're targeted, what they might be interested in, and come with that offer at a good time. We also need to make sure the purchasing process is super easy. Common mistakes that we see is giving people too many options at the checkout process or the purchasing process, having too many options along the way. It just confuses people. You need to have as few options as possible. Also, you need to have good checkout methods. So the way people can accept, maybe it's a proposal, but the way people can accept or purchase must be super easy. So really making sure that the closing process is good. If you have an e-commerce store, that buy now button better be visible and super easy to see within 2 to 3 seconds. I highly recommend getting someone that is not your best friend, your mother, your grandmother, or your brother to evaluate your purchasing process, because they will always tell you that it's quite good, very often. So get someone external, someone on the outside, someone you know will give you a proper insight into how easy that was. And don't sit and guide them along the way. Just get them to experience and give you the honest feedback on how that process was. Highly recommend getting someone external to do that a little bit for you. So it's a small process. But very important, of course. Then you want to move on to creating fans. So now someone has purchased from you. Most important thing you do now is to deliver on your promise. Whatever you said you're going to deliver, you need to deliver within the time expected, within the price expected. The product must be as expected. Everything must just be as expected. Then you also need to take the next step. You need to impress. So this is where you need to do more than expected. It can be things like adding extra tips on how to use your product if it's a product. It can be giving an additional training session for free. It can be giving someone a voucher or a discount for the next purchase. Can be anything. Can be information, can be things, can be services. Sometimes it can be something as simple as a thank you. It can be a follow-up, unexpected follow-up within a reasonable amount of time. Just showing that client that you care about their purchase beyond the actual transaction. Then you want to make sure that you also multiply. So asking your clients for their feedback and asking them to leave a review. Keep in mind that most clients will not have the top priority to leave you a review. So you probably have to ask a couple of times. I know this from experience. So make sure that you have a process for that, and also how to maybe ask if they need to buy again. Do you have a repeat service? Is there anything in that purchasing path where you can add more value to an existing purchase as well? Is there maybe an add-on? Is there accessory? Whatever it is that can be multiplying. In addition to that, you also want to make sure that you ask for referrals. So for your existing clients, ask if they might know someone that would also need what they bought. Chances are that they will maybe talk about your product or services, if it's good enough, if you impress them, with colleagues, friends, industry colleagues, whatever it is, where you can pick up additional clients from that one client that you sold to. Remember that your client that you sold to already has your trust. So they've already been through that trust building process. So you don't have to do that so much with the referral, because they will always already trust this person that told them that you were great. So here is a little link to the mapping tool. You can pick up that link. I will also give you, let me add that one as we move on. This is actually the same. We're going to move on to the priority path, but here you go for the customer journey mapping tool. There's a QR code, and you can also see there's a bit.ly link there. If you need this link and can't get hold of it, let me know, and we will make sure that you get that link. It's just to contact us. Then let's move on to the priority path. So this is important because there's a lot of stuff that I told you need to do. But here is the priority path that we use when we work with clients to help them prioritize what to do first, what and why. So the first thing we want you to do, if you have an existing list of clients, people that haven't bought from you, any list of contacts, we want you to re-engage with that list. We want you to offer them something, making sure that you pull out the value that you can from your existing lists. One of the reasons why we start here is because this is one of the cheapest approaches to that additional sale that can help you finance more of your marketing. Then we very quickly move on to see, are you capturing your leads from your existing traffic? So do you have those lead magnets in place with capturing opportunity possibilities, so you can get that email address, for example, making sure that you're not just driving the traffic without the possibility of being able to engage and nurture with them, which is the next step so to be able to engage and nurture with them. Then we immediately, so once we have those things in order, obviously if you don't have an existing list, we skip that step. we look at what are we doing to engage and nurture? What does it look like today? What does a customer journey look like? And we really dive into what do you need to do to make sure that we convert these clients into customers. So a lot of things that we can look at here, and you can find a lot of information on this. This is a really, really important step, but it's not a standard step for every business. So in the mapping tool, you will see that we have a couple of questions that helps you along the way. But this is really about adding value to your client, building trust, building a relationship. Then we start to look at your delivering process. And clients might say, but why do you care about how I deliver? Or this is not really the marketing. Please don't look at that. This is very important because if you're not delivering a good customer experience, we can't maximize the value of those leads. And we keep on pumping in money into generating new leads while you're not getting full return on investment on those leads. Then we look at, do you have processes for asking happy customers for referrals? And do you have processes for upselling? Yes, no, little bit, maybe. We look at those, making sure those are in place. Again, this is all about maximizing the value of an existing purchase. We look at your purchasing process. Is it easy? Do you think it's easy? And it might not be. And then when we have all of this in place, only then do we look at generating new traffic to your website or your social channels. This is typically the ads. So a lot of people start at the end. So they start pumping in money in the ads, and they don't really have the rest of the conversion process in order. That is typically where people run out of money and wondering why they're not getting clients. And the more desperate they become, the worse the marketing actually turns out to be. It becomes more of a pushy sales, and people don't really like to be sold to. So that comes all the way at the end. You see there's an arrow there. Re-engaging lists is your first if you have one. Capturing, super, super important. If you're not capturing, you can't nurture. Nurture. Focus on that step. We generally find that this is an area where a lot of businesses are not putting in any effort. So this is creating your content, email marketing, remarketing, all of these things along the way. Make sure it's adding value, not desperate. Moving on along your priority path. Techniques, I do highly recommend, and I'm a big fan of automation because you can't be everywhere and at the same time, and it's quite easy to fall back into then focusing on the ads only, for example, while you should maybe be automating some of your nurturing, so you don't have to do that all the time, automating your referrals and your upselling, automating your post-sale purchases, a lot of processes that are fairly easy to automate. You just need to spend the time. Most of the key here is spending the time on doing it, and that you really get a lot of value for money, as we saw. So what do I mean by automation? It's typically a when-then kind of sequence. So you can have when something happens, when someone downloads my ebook, then something should happen. For example, I should send them my ebook, I should put them into relevant nurturing related to my ebook, and then move them along the customer journey through automation. But the stop here could be, if a purchase is made, stop the pre-sale automation. So don't send them a lot of additional purchase and special offers and all of that stuff when they're already purchased. Now you might want to focus on your post-sale automation, which again can be when someone has purchased, then do the appropriate follow-up processes that we obviously decide what should that be. And you might have a stop process, or you might not have a stop process. Maybe a stop process will be if they ask you to not contact them again, for example, something like that. But yeah, it eliminates hours of repetitive tasks. So putting the time on creating the processes alleviates your time. It lets you grow without having to add a lot of employees. You will normally waste a lot of your day by doing the same things over and over again. Anything that you do more than 2 times should be automated, in my opinion. Across industries, automation has become key to success. 80%, and this is actually a fairly old stat as well, of top performing companies use marketing automation. And you might think, oh, but I'm not a top performing company. I'm just average, or I'm just starting out. That doesn't mean that you're not going to aim to become a top performing company. Having automation in place allows you transparency for what is working and what is not, because you can go back and see, okay, this email is really good. I should be using more of that type of content. Yeah. So, and also you don't have to, when you first put in place your referral process, you don't have to ask your clients for referrals, because it's happening in the background. It's automated. When someone is becoming a client, you wait a month and then you ask for a referral, and you ask them maybe 4 times until they're giving you a referral. So that should be a stop. If you are interested in trying a tool, Pine Tree Marketing is a Keap certified partner. We promote using Keap for automation. It's an all-in-one CRM automation email tool that you can try. Here's a link to try it for free. Brilliant to create customer journeys if you want to try that. If not, there's a lot of other automation tools out there as well. So this is just one that we recommend. If you do have any questions, anything that I've spoken about today, if you want to have any of the resources, any topics that you want to talk more about, feel free to contact us. You got our email. We are on all the social channels. As you know, we are live. You're probably joining us live from one of them today. But here we got a handle for Facebook. It's the same as we have for our Instagram and LinkedIn as well. You can find both myself and Pine Tree Marketing on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram. So let us know if you have any questions. We are happy to answer any questions, or again, topics. So with that, I hope that you are on your way to create. Let me bring up this one again for your free tool. Hope you're on the way to create some amazing customer journeys, and that you got some inspiration and insights. And I hope to see you again soon.